Have you ever heard of a Scofield Bible?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So C.I. Scofield was basically a student of John Darby, and he adopted that part of the doctrine, and he incorporated that into the Bible. It was the first Bible ever made that had study notes with it. We have all kinds of Bibles now that have, concordances and study notes and all kinds of stuff that go along, but this was the first one that was ever made. It became so popular. Every Christian was reading it. Every minister was reading it. And this continues today to this exact second. My own dad, when he went in seminary and was, wanting to become a minister, they said, make sure you have a Scofield Bible now when you come to class. Have your Scofield Bible. Scofield Bible also adopted that entire John Darby philosophy of Christians will not be here when the bad stuff starts to happen. And most Christians still believe that. Matter of fact, a lot of my friends that are Christians are going to watch this interview are probably right now going, hang on a minute. Now hang on. So this is pushing back against a doctrine that's been in existence now for coming up on 200 years. The problem with that doctrine is there's several places in the Bible where it talks about what's going to happen prior to Jesus Christ coming back to the earth. When he does come back, that is when what we call the rapture happens. The word rapture is nowhere in the Bible. It talks about us being caught up with him and pulled out of here, and then the ultimate wrath is poured out on this planet. That's what we call the rapture. So that's not in debate. The question is, what happens leading up to that? It's a good question to ask, right? For some reason, nobody ever preaches that. They don't want to talk about what all happens prior to it. So if I can I just read if we have time? That's why I love the thought of this interview.
I do too. But just to be clear, what you're saying is the Scofield Bible, its theology is deceptive.
I'm saying that the same way the media takes a factual situation and twists it and gives you a version of it, which we all know we're force-fed every single day, the same exact tactic was used in 1830 by John Darby. And guess who he was connected to, by the way? The Rothschilds.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was connected to the Rothschilds family back in the day. That he did the same exact tactic and twisted that. I don't know why he did that. It worked because it took off. And I mean, there were churches popping up everywhere right after that. I'm saying that, including me, including my own father, for a long time, that's what we believe too. But when you start actually going back and reading line by line by line what is said that will be leading up to Jesus coming back, which is when the rapture happens, it's the inverse of what John Darby put down.
I didn't know that, but somehow I'm not surprised even a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I interrupted you. I just want to be totally clear about what you were saying. So you were saying you want.
Well, I'm curious how you take this. What I'm telling you right now, I don't know that
personally. I mean, I know nothing about any of this stuff. But I decided to read the Bible about a year and a half ago. I did, and it really just changed my life. I just thought it was just the most amazing thing I've ever read or done. But when I decided to do that, I'm so distrustful. I didn't grow up around preachers, but I have real distrust, and I think it's earned. And so I didn't want any commentary in the Bible that I bought on Amazon.com. I
right.
just want to know what it says.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, I just want to know what it says. And so yeah, to this day, including this morning, I mean, I just want to, because I'm coming from total ignorance. My father was not a preacher, to put it mildly. So yeah, I don't have the background at all. So I just want to know what it says. I don't want to be misled. I've lived a life, in the media, so I'm highly familiar with how populations are misled, lied to, deceived, and then hurt on the basis of those lies. I know a lot about that, and I didn't want that. That's why I don't have TV. That's why I don't like the internet. I don't want that stuff in my head, and so I have no commentary at all in the Bible that I'm reading. And but my sense was the Scofield stuff, which has had massive implications for our foreign policy, for example, and in our domestic politics, was probably a lie. It seems like a lie to me, but I don't really know, because
I don't think all of it was a lie. I think this particular subject
that was. I do know that translation or that commentary on the Bible has had massive effects on our politics that have been very, very negative and resulted in the deaths of a lot of people. So I do know that for a fact, but I don't know much about the theology. So would you mind explain? I interrupted you. You were going to get to that.
You're not interrupting me. This is a great, it's a very powerful conversation. I think we're the only two humans on earth having this conversation in front of everybody.
I feel like people are very open to things that, well, I speak for myself. I had zero interest in having any kind of conversation about the Bible 3 years ago.
Right.
Not against the Bible, never been against the Bible. I believe in God. I believed in God 3 years ago, but I wasn't that interested in talking about Revelation. I mean, I'm a wasp. You just don't need to talk about that stuff. So, but I feel like it's not just me. I think that a lot of people are reaching the conclusion that the materialist society we grew up in, is insufficient to explain what we're seeing.
Yep. And
that we're facing off against these forces. We ascribe names to them like leftism or communism, or there's something that's more than that. That doesn't tell the whole story. This is a theology that's being pushed on us, and so maybe it's worth knowing more about it.
Yeah, I think people are watching what's happening in our country and around the world, and they're becoming more and more fearful of it, even to the point of dread. A lot of people are just consumed by what is happening.
That's right.
And they want answers. They want a truthful answer. Will somebody please tell me the truth? And the truth about that is the only ultimate truth is not me, and it's not you, and it's not any politician or anybody on TV. It's what the book says. Now, if you're watching this and you go, I don't believe in, I'm an atheist and whatever, that doesn't matter. That's fine. But if you're watching this, you're going to hear it anyway, because it is the truth, and the truth has a way of penetrating.
Well, I would also say, this is how I felt about myself. Like, I had all kinds of opinions about God and religion and all that stuff, but it's kind of hard to have. It's like I have lots of opinions about Anna Karenina, but I've read it. I mean, I get it's just worth reading the document, and it's long. It took me, 15 months to read it, or 14 months, but it's like no one has read it. Just read it and then get back to me, and let's have a conversation about what's in there.
Right.
That's like the first step. Just read it. Maybe you're an atheist. Maybe you're Christopher Hitchens. It doesn't matter. Just read what's in there. By the way, that's the foundation of Western civilization. So just as a historical matter, you should know what's in there, but nobody does.
Agreed. Very few people do. So why is it dangerous right now that Christians have this idea that they're going to be out of here before any of the things that are prophesied about happen? Why is that dangerous? It's dangerous because when the mark of the beast shows up, when the son of perdition shows up, who we refer to as the Antichrist, when those things happen and they're still here, they'll say, well, that can't be the mark of the beast. That can't be the Antichrist, because I'm still here. And what danger does that put someone in? That's not the mark of the beast because I'm still here. So go ahead, sign me up. Think about the level of danger with that. And it has not existed, in my opinion, until recently, since technology has gotten to the point to actually execute these things.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.